Mog, and we are back with some Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain. Oh, yeah. I told you guys I'd be back on this tonight. Seems like the right way to go.
In the furthermost canyon of Nosgoth's frozen wastes, the hushed silences embrace an ancient enigma. In the bowels of this labyrinth, your master awaits.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just fucking end the game. Because, like, I could spend all this time trying to collect everything, but, like, I mean, I think I guess we can try. I guess. Let's go ahead and go to Raziel's territory. Like, I'm not even sure you really even need all that stuff. We just have technically 2 areas left to go, which is like the Oracle's Cave region, and then the Time Streaming Chamber. Canyon. Wow, this is so nostalgic. The old graphics. But technically, they're still sort of remastered. I know they sort of like made it to where you can play with the classic graphics, but there it is. Yep, and then we just need an Eldritch energy. Which I'm sure would be. They call me Copernicus. Oh, there it is. was writing my book like by hand, like way back in the day. Like I wrote a lot of it to like this song or like the very beginning. A lot of it was inspired like this music. I really want my book to like be that gothic. There we go. I get it. I get it. This is gonna be one of those damn stupid things again, isn't it? Fuck! No. Got it. Nice. Raziel territory complete. There's an Eldritch energy in Malkaya's, a health piece in Stoneglyph territory. One in the Silence Cathedral. One in Hobbs. Yeah. I kind of just want to continue. my god, I forgot about this. Oh, there's a whole freaking puzzle here. Oh my god. I totally remember all this stuff. The Oracle's Cave. I'm of noble blood. Oh my gosh, I remember this like it was yesterday. Yeah, that would happen. Huh. Oh, oh. Okay, I have an idea. Oh, wait. Right. Right. This is the way. Oh, right. And now I can go ahead and fit it into the other one. Out. Put you on the other side. Make it toward the other one. We can finally get the other block onto the other side. Yes, I murdered you in cold blood. Now, we just have to get through I told you guys this was gonna be easy. Now we just gotta get you. Ha ha ha. Oh my god. No. Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted? Because that's what it seems like you wanted. I don't understand, like, why in Soul Reaver 2 he loses his ability, because I feel like this is pretty cool for puzzles, and like I feel like it's like very underutilized in this. Oh my god. This is it.
The Oracle's Cave, where Kain's first fateful meeting with Mobius occurred. Mobius played the role of a doddering soothsayer, stirring his pot of visions while dispensing enigmatic predictions to gullible visitors. Underneath the facade was Mobius the Time Streamer, sorcerer of the Circle of Nine, a ruthless manipulator with the power to bend time. Since his murder at Kain's hands centuries ago, these caves have stood vacant, though, like Mobius himself, they are rumored to be only a facade for a much larger, more elaborate complex. I sensed that Kain was here, and at that moment, I would have plumbed the depths of hell to find him. This, I deduced, must be the man himself, the Time Streamer, Mobius. He seemed not at all the impressive figure I had imagined from Kain's boasted exploits. And yet, even this cold image radiated a certain undeniable power.
This is the original Mobius statue. He just has a staff with an orb. But when you see the new one, it's a lot closer to his Soul Reaver 2 render. Got them both. Yeah, I think this is it. I think we're headed towards the time streaming chamber. I can tell because of the gears on the wall. Okay, so another thing. All right. So like you can tell that this is a repurposed like whatever, like a repurposed view or a repurposed whatever asset from Terrell. You can see his symbol here, or what appears to be his symbol. But it's just been repurposed to be the end game because originally you're supposed to go fight Kain in his, what is it, he has like an air retreat or someplace. He's not here at the time streaming chamber. Okay, now we need this to be blue. See, these are very interesting puzzles, but the fact is that we're not. How do we turn these? See, if we were able to turn this, it wouldn't let us. Oh, now it's letting me turn it. Alright, easy. Alright, now that one's... See, like, these are really cool puzzles. If we were just... If we got the constrictability just a little earlier on, or I don't know. There we go. Yeah, these color puzzles with the constrictability. See, like it's so much more variety. It makes me think that we should have got the constrictability way earlier in the game. Like, if we'd given us like so much more to do than just block puzzles. And I'm like, if that's like the only one we get, then I'm gonna be like so disappointed. Oh my god. So yellow is Malchias, so I don't want to turn. Red is Kain, which is gonna be this way. Staked. Oh, there's blocks here. Oh. Oh no, this is the way I came in. Oh wait, I see. I need to pull this out. Damn it. Of course, they make fucking Oracle's Cave, damn it. What is over here? Ooh, nice. And there we are. Oh my god, we're getting so close. You really think that's gonna fucking... Do you think I'm scared of you? this guy's gotta be... Yeah, that guy's... Like that. Nope. Nope. Needs to be turned around. Yeah, it's gonna be that way. No, duck. Dude, what the fuck, man? I hate the controls of this. Man, Soul Reaver 2 does get, like, the controls get monumentally better. There we go. Bam. Nope, you're not doing it right. And this motherfucker. Closer and closer to the end. Oh my god. I think this is it. Time streaming chamber. So, like, another thing though, like, how is the sunlight and the fire glyph pretty much do the same thing? Be something to there's got to be some clue to how we solve this riddle. Oh wait, yes, here. UT triangle pi cheesy. Okay, UT triangle pi UT triangle pi Okay, triangle pi, UT. cheesy. Right on. Oh, here we are, man. Another... So, here we go. I think we're finally getting in. Yep, this is it.
My arrival in this miserable age. What trickery is this?
It is no illusion, Raziel, but a glimpse into the currents of time itself.
Wow. It's so great how they like included this though, because like so much content was cut.
These apparitions torment me. Has this all been foretold?
Wow, the remaster is looks so good. Can you continue onward? These apparitions, they haunt me. that? A doorway.
Impossible! This must be one of Kain's deceptions.
Okay, so if you're looking into time itself, how is it one of Kain's deceptions? Like, I know he's like worried about like that, like time itself, like being predestined, but there's nothing to suggest that it was predestined. It was just there. You're just looking into time or looking back in time, unless you start looking into the future.
My mind reels with conflict. Does Kain await me moments from now? Or in some century yet to come?
And see, that would have been at the fortress, right? Or his air retreat, or wherever the fuck he was gonna be. Like, where, like, what was that? Kain centuries from now? Or now he feels like he's looking into the future because that he hasn't been there before.
This cannot be. What madness does this scene portend? Kain must think me credulous to suffer these lies.
So, like, those are like just big what ifs, like futures that might or might not happen. But yeah, like, he absorbed her. The aerial Reaver is like a version of the light Reaver. And see, that is...
Is this phantasm a conjuration of my mind, or an echo of future events? Let's see that again. Is this phantasm a conjuration of my mind, or an echo of future events?
So that would have been the Kain Reaver, and that was what he would have received if he would have completed the wherever Kain would have been that final stage in the Lost Levels, the retreat or whatever. I need to go back and like see whatever the hell it was called. Yep, this is it, the time streaming chamber. We're getting close to the end, guys. The final gate. Okay. Alright, guys. Alright, guys. This is it. It's time. Oh, why am I feeling so anxious? Like, I've done this before a million times. Okay, just take a short break real quick. I'll be right. Alright, I have returned, and thus we must continue on with the end.
At last. I must say I'm disappointed in your progress. I imagined you'd be here sooner. Tell me, did it trouble you to murder your brothers?
Did it trouble you when you ordered me into the abyss?
No. I had faith in you. In your ability to hate. In your self-righteous indignation.
Lies. You cannot have foreseen all of this.
Eternity is relentless, Raziel. When I first stole into this chamber centuries ago, I did not fathom the true power of knowledge. To know the future, Raziel. To see its paths and streams tracing out into the infinite. As a man, I could never have contained such forbidden truths. But each of us is so much more than we once were. Gazing out across the plains of possibility, do you not feel with all your soul how we have become like gods? And as such, are we not indivisible? As long as a single one of us stands, we are legion. And that is why, when I must sacrifice my children to the void, I can do so with a clear heart.
Very poetic, Kain. But in the end, you offer no more than a convenient rationalization for your crimes.
These chambers offer insight for those patient enough to look. In your haste to find me, perhaps you have not gazed deeply enough. Our futures are predestined.
Mobius foretold mine a millennium ago. We each play out the parts fate has written for us. We are compelled ineluctably down preordained paths. Free will is an illusion.
I have been to the tomb of Seraphan Kain. Your dirty secret is exposed. How could you transform a Seraphan priest into a vampire?
How could I not? One must keep his friends close, Raziel, and his enemies even closer. Can you grasp the absurd beauty of the paradox? We're the same. Seraphan and vampire. With our holy wars, our obsession with Nosgoth's domination, who better to serve me than those whose passion transcends all notions of good and evil?
I will not applaud your clever blasphemy. The Seraphan were saviors, defending Nosgoth from the corruption that we represent. My eyes are opened, Kain. I find no nobility in the unlife you rudely forced on my unwilling corpse.
You may have uncovered your past, but you know nothing of it. You think the Seraphan were noble, altruistic? Don't be simple. Their agenda was the same as ours.
You are lost in a maze of moral relativism, Kain. These apparitions and portents. What game are you playing now?
Destiny is a game, is it not? And now, you await my latest move.
Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. Die. There you are. Fuck! Ugh. God damn it. Fuck, man. Damn it, dude. Fuck. No! Fuck! God damn it. Fucking bitch! Come on! Got you, piece of shit.
You nearly had me, Raziel. But this is not where or how it ends. Fate promises more twists before this drama unfolds completely.
Be warned, Raziel. Once you cross this threshold, you are beyond my influence.
It's Mobius.
Raziel, Redeemer and Destroyer, Pawn and Messiah. Welcome, time-span soul. Welcome to your destiny. Where time is but a loop, a loose stitch in the universal cloth, a streamer might seize upon a chance, a fatal slip, and plunge the fate of planets into chaos.
And there you have it, guys. Soul Reaver 1 complete. Oh gosh, that was gonna get super frustrating. I couldn't get to Kain. I was like, what's going on? Why can't I freaking get Kain to it was really annoying. It's really annoying. But that's super crazy. Like, where's the original the original credits? Because when I beat it on the PlayStation 5, I got to see the original credits, the one when they were showing like the art and stuff, like the concept art and all that. This music even sounds like Soul Reaver 2. Like, that's the Soul Reaver 2 music from the Seraphan Stronghold. So like, I'm over here thinking like, what? Are they trying to get us like ready for Soul Reaver 2, or like, I don't know. This is the Nintendo Switch release, and this came out in July, so I'm over here thinking like they probably only had it to like I don't know. They obviously made changes because like they fixed that one glitch where you go get the health piece in the ruined city, and all of a sudden, you know, it's all, you know, and then it's, well, like, you get the health piece in the ruined city and it doesn't show up on your map that you got it, but in the Switch edition it does. So they fixed that bug. But yeah, like the credits, like I miss the old seeing the old concept art and stuff like that. But I guess you can go see the concept art in the gallery in the bonus content, so I guess it's not that huge a loss. But yeah, like, Priestess Anna, what is she doing in there? But the Priestess, I thought she was like, oh wait, no, yeah, in the original. But yeah, that was Soul Reaver 1. I genuinely love this game. Have loved it since I was a kid. It's a big part of my life. Had a lot of like influence on me as a writer, especially with how this game is written. The language itself is just beautiful, very poetic, gothic for sure, but I love how it's so Shakespearean in the way the drama unfolds. So like, yeah, I took a lot of inspiration, especially in the world too. Like I love Nosgoth, the whole idea of the balance being broken, or Kain corrupting the balance because he refuses to sacrifice himself, and like how each pillar is essential to holding together some piece or fabric of reality. The whole idea of the fabric of reality changing with paradoxes as different things unfold with the different paths and avenue and choices. So like there's this whole concept of morality that's being explored, and I think that like it shows that it shows in that final confrontation between Kain and Raziel about like how what is it like Kain is trying to speak as if he's speaking from a moral place, but Raziel's like, oh no, how poetic, Kain. Like he's it's a perversion. It's all some sort of manipulation, and Raziel at that time doesn't see what Kain sees. And Kain is basically trying to, I don't know, trying to like chart his own course because his destiny and fate was predetermined as well. Like he was born the Balance Guardian, and he was corrupted as the Balance Guardian after Ariel had died and the rest of the circle was corrupted. So he's just trying to like rewrite his own fate, but all the while like all of these other pieces have already been written, and him trying to rewrite his own fate has also been written because like even when he obtains the Soul Reaver, it contains the soul of Raziel, which is why whenever he smashes it on Raziel's back, it shatters because it can't destroy itself. So it's very interesting because Raziel is metaphorically and for all intents purposes literally the Soul Reaver. So like yeah, I mean I think this game for all its for as janky as it is, how dated it can feel, especially the first game, I still think it's just impeccably written. Just I think it's just way ahead of its time. There are definitely some things that they could have polished up a little bit when it came to like the mechanics, when it came to remaking the game or remastering it. I love that they kept it super faithful to the originals, and obviously re-rendered things to make it more beautiful. I love that you can toggle between the old graphics and the new graphics without sacrificing the new quality or breath of life that they put into it, because obviously with them putting on the fresh coat of paint, they wanted to keep things as like as authentic as possible, but not like remove any of like the previous barriers. Like obviously this isn't a widescreen game, it's not all pixelated like previously. Like they whenever you do load in, it's they still keep it widescreen, but yeah, it's still a great game. Is it better than Soul Reaver 2? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I would say Soul Reaver 1 excels in the fact that it has a ton of bonus content. Like, I could still go back into this game and go hunt down every single health piece. Get all the glyphs if I didn't get them the first time around. Some glyphs are completely optional. I mean, glyphs in general are optional. I don't think you need to have any glyphs to beat the game, but the glyphs do make the game a whole lot easier. Like like the glyphs, there's just a ton of side content. Plus, the world is much more open and open ended. So there's a lot more incentive to explore, to see things, to really immerse yourself in the world of Nosgoth. The first time I played the remaster on the PlayStation 5, I was much more in tune with like the night day cycle that they implemented. I feel like I experienced night a lot more in the PlayStation version than I did in the Switch version. And I wonder why that is. I did see night come across like once or twice, but not so many times as I did in the PlayStation version. Maybe because in the PlayStation version, since I had just gotten to that game and it had been like years since I played Soul Reaver, that, I was still figuring out a lot. In this game, in this playthrough, it was still kind of fresh. Even though there were still parts that I didn't remember or quite get, or I was like, why is this happening? Because, obviously there are design choices in the game that just like confuse the shit out of you. Um, it was still relatively easy to get through because I had just played this game. So it was like I had just played this less than a year ago. So like, oh wow, yeah, this is super fresh. Like get through Hobbs stage was a lot easier the second time around than it was the first time around, especially when I had the Soul Reaver and I knew I could just blast enemies into like spikes and shit. And then once I had the Fire Reaver, yeah, super easy. And then obviously too, I went in and once I had certain abilities, I went and maxed out the amount of glyphs that I could get. So before my first time I played, I didn't know when certain glyphs would be available. So I just continued with the story. And then I got to a certain part of the story and I was like, just grabbing glyphs as they would appear naturally, like kind of like in this playthrough when I just like sort of happened across the fire glyph. Well, this time around, like the first time around, I kind of did that for most of the game. I was like, oh, I'll just happen upon a glyph. Like I didn't really go looking for the human citadel at all until like the third act, right? I was like, oh well, I really need to go check out the human citadel or figure out where that is. And then I just went around and did it. But this time I went in I could have went in earlier than I did, but I did whenever it was possible for me to actually accomplish and get stuff done there, because I was lacking certain abilities that wouldn't have allowed me to get the eldritch energy or the health piece or the water glyph. I did there whenever I had the stuff that I needed for the purpose that I needed it for. So I did a better job of actually, like as soon as I got an ability in certain areas opened up, I went and got what I needed at the time I was supposed to get it instead of waiting and just like continuing the story. So that way I was just like at the right power level, because like for instance, Zephon's Lair, super hard when you have absolutely nothing, because that area was meant to be an end game area, moved to the front. So going in there with like straight nothing, with just the force glyph, made that incredibly hard. But the thing is, you can only go in with the force glyph at that point in the game. So really, like there is no real loss there, right? So anyways, Soul Reaver 1, I love it because it has of all that side content, because it is so open-ended. It feels more like a Zelda game where it's like, oh yeah, like, well, there's so much more to do, so much more to explore. There's an incentive to explore because you can get power-ups and you can get things that will help you in the game, make the game easier for you, make it, more of a walk in the park rather than a frustrating experience like where you had it at the beginning with Zephon's Lair. I bet you the end game would be a lot harder if I didn't have any glyphs and I had to rely on the spikes on the wall and rely on the weapons, rely on the spears. There was a point where I was so OP that I didn't even need any of that stuff, even though they were available all around me. I just typically didn't need to use them. But I did, use my glyphs a lot. And yeah, I love my glyphs. That's, they're awesome. But when we get to Soul Reaver 2, the combat's refined. It's a lot like easier to fight. You have access to the Soul Reaver like all the time, even though you could still use weapons. And anyways, we'll get to Soul Reaver 2, but I'm just saying like there are pros and cons to both of them. I like Soul Reaver 2 in terms of its combat. It's completely story driven. It's just much more cinematic game, and it's just like more up to code in terms of quality standards, but it lacks the side content that the first game does. It's much more linear, a lot less open ended, and more straightforward than Soul Reaver 1 was. But Soul Reaver 1, like, dude, it's still a masterpiece in and of itself, even though it's a shitty platformer in some areas. Its camera can be wonky. There are difficulty spikes in areas because like they move stuff around when they cut content. Some parts just don't make sense because like, oh, why does this exist here? Or like that one part, like the Seraphim tomb, where you go in this, like there's two doorways that branch off in two different directions, but they both lead to the same place, and then you see that golden gate as if it was supposed to lead somewhere, and you're like, I wonder what that would have led to, because obviously something was cut here. Like there are areas where you can see that in the game where there was content cut for undisclosed reasons, but that's why the lost levels and the museum and the extra content exists within the remaster, because the developers know that, yeah, a lot of content was cut, but yeah, you know what, guys, here's a little sneak peek into what could have been. And even at the end with the time streaming chamber, I love how they did that, where they show all those little what if scenarios and the stuff that they should have put in to the first game, like that confrontation with Kain, the Kain Reaver, the Aerial Reaver, those Reavers and what they would have been. But there's no real like allusion to the true ending of the first game, or what would have been the true ending of the first game, which is the use of the Silence Cathedral to kill all vampires, where the Seraphim it's revealed eventually that it was the Hilden who built the Silence Cathedral, or the humans built it, but the Hilden had commissioned it, through the use of the Seraphim. I think that's how it goes. But anyways, like they were trying to eradicate all vampires, and then Raziel goes ahead and uses it, and then eventually like banishes all vampires. But then you know what? Even though they cut that ending, they realized they wanted a sequel and they wanted a franchise. That was the main thing. But also there was time restrictions in terms of like that, like, oh, we got to get this game done, this is too much content, we got to cut it down, but also we need to change the ending of the game. But there's a ton of content that we just can't just throw out, so like let's create the story or write the story about like several different avenues. I mean, there was already time streaming in the first game. We've already introduced paradoxes. We had two Sea Reavers go to battle with each other already once before, and then we've already changed the timeline once, or create two different timelines. Like it's yeah, they knew what they were doing in terms of writing the game, and they had some really great writers on this game. So like for sure. But yeah, Soul Reaver, a total masterpiece. Definitely. Is it a perfect game? No. Is it flawed in areas? Yes. Is it because studio interference and cutting content? Potentially. But did it come out better than it should have? Yeah, definitely. Is the writing better than most games, even for today's standards? Absolutely. I wish we had more freaking poetic games like this. Like I wish more games were as thought provoking or morally complex as this game. I feel like we don't get a lot of that nowadays, but we do get a lot of that in gothic fiction and gothic narratives, like my story that this game partially inspired, was a huge influence on. So yeah, I'm super excited for Soul Reaver 2 now. I'm gonna definitely hop into that here next in the next few. So if you're enjoying this, stick around, because we're going to start Soul Reaver 2, and that has a really awesome intro. It just picks up at the very end of Soul Reaver 1, with the final battle being the opening intro cinematic, which is awesome. Things play out a little bit differently than how you saw it at the end of Soul Reaver 1. I'll talk about it, but yeah, like it's going to be an experience. And then I'll talk about all the improvements that Soul Reaver 2 does, because there's a lot of them. But I'll also touch on the things that I feel like are missing, or the things that I feel like hold Soul Reaver 2 back from being, on par with Soul Reaver 1. I actually think they're both equal. Like, I think they're both really great games. They both excel in different ways. But I just think Soul Reaver 2 is just a better made game, just because, like, yeah, for what it lacks, it doesn't break the game, whereas in this one, the stuff that it like the stuff that holds Soul Reaver 1 back can kind of break it in ways like, oh dude, it could be so frustrating that I want to quit this game, or I don't ever want to do that again. Like, I don't ever say that with Soul Reaver 2. That's like, Soul Reaver 2 is still like a seamless, clean experience, whereas this one, like, despite like, it's well, despite how all the things it excels at, and excels at a lot, it has those moments of frustration where it's like, damn dude, like, what could have been if they would have not cut so much content and would have put so much more effort into, like, polishing this game to be what the true full vision was. So more to come soon, but if you're enjoying this, or if you enjoyed my Soul Reaver playthrough, like, follow, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Stick around for some more Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2, and eventually some Blood Omen 2. But until then, adios, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.